What's going on, guys? It's your boy Fallen. Happy Friday. Hopefully, you guys have had an amazing week. Hopefully, you guys are being well. Hopefully, everybody's being safe, even though there's a lot of craziness happening in the world. And just to piggyback off Wednesday's video, I want to make a video talking about for people who are interested in buying an electric scooter or considered buying an electric vehicle in general. Now, I'm not talking about Teslas or Priuses. I'm just talking about kind of consumer end vehicles like scooters, one wheels, the self balancing wheels, anything, electric rollerblades. So I want to give you some food for the thought if you're considering it. And I'll give you the process kind of what I went through when I was first shopping around. Now, the main question is, where do you live? Do you live in a very densely packed city like New York City, Chicago, LA, Miami, where there's a lot of everything is nearby, but vehicle transportation, like traditional car transportation, is not very convenient? Or do you live in a more spread out area? Do you live in a more suburban neighborhoods, or do you live in rural areas? Because that is going to determine how much of a range you need to have on your electric vehicle. Now, I live in New York City. The whole island of Manhattan is only about, I believe, is 7 miles long this way. So to some extent, I know how much range I'm going to need to get somewhere and get back, because you don't want to get somewhere and not have to push it back. Although most electric scooters can be used as a traditional scooter at the same time, but that takes away fun from it. Also, take into factor what is your price range. Price range is something that is going to be one of the biggest deciding factors. Um, Now, there's a lot of different models with a lot of different price ranges. As you guys know, I talked about the Bird ES1 300 in all of my videos, because this is the only electric scooter I own at this point in time, and it is considered to be a very beginner, a budget-friendly scooter. I purchased it under $300. Purchased it from Walmart.com. The main reason I point that out, because some electric scooters go into thousands of dollars. Now, the boosted board scooter is, I believe, between $1,500 to $1,800, depending where you buy it and how you spec it out. So that gives you a bit of a range right there. Now, boosted board scooter is not the most expensive scooters. There's crazy ones that go into $4, 5, $6,000, depending, once again, how they're made, where they're made, their maximum speed, their maximum distance, etc. So think about how much you're going to be spending for an electric scooter. What is going to be your break-even cost associated with it, compared to the means of transportation you're using. If you're just going by foot, of course, the electric scooter is going to be a more expensive option. But if you're using public transportations like buses, subways, metro systems, taxis even, think about how long will it take you to recoup the cost of an electric scooter. If you're driving and you have to pay for parking, think about how much you're spending per parking. Now, of course, with the electric scooter, there is some potential maintenance costs associated with it. There's the electrical charge cost. But just look at the price of the purchase price of a scooter versus how much you're spending per trip right now. And they'll give you an idea of how long it would take you to recoup and cover the costs, and if it's worth for you to invest in. Now, if you only take a taxi once every 3 months and the rest of the time you're walking by foot, electric scooters or other small electric vehicles might not be a suitable option for you. Yes, they're cool, they're fast, they're convenient, but if you've been not needing to use that in your life, there's potentially not a need for an electric scooter. Now, I am becoming a huge fan of electric vehicles in general. I feel like, in a way, they're becoming the new era of replacing traditional vehicles like traditional scooters or bicycles. Same way that vapes and electronic cigarettes have replaced traditional smoking. I remember looking at vapes in about 2013, 2014 time, and there was a lot of hype associated with them. Everyone thought the vape was this new cool era of technology coming around, and everybody's going to quit. And eventually, it slowly died off, but it had remained constant up to this point in time. So it has a lot of longevity to it. Now, there's a lot of hype behind small electric vehicles right now, um, that I think people are talking about how they're gonna replace traditional scooters or traditional bikes or rollerblades, and it's not going to be the case. It's going to coexist in the same ecosphere. At least that's how I see it, and it's going to be used interchangeable. Same way that smoking, some people still use traditional cigarettes, but a lot of people, for many and variety of reasons, have switched over either to electronic cigarettes or vapes altogether. So it creates, they still exist in the same ecosphere of nicotine products, or the same way electric scooters exist in the same ecosphere of small transportation devices, but one doesn't impede with the other if you look at it. Now think about also if you do plan on making any modifications to your scooters. There is a lot of aftermarket people modding their scooters, creating different, adding batteries, adding lights, adding all sorts of configurations to their packages. That also goes into the pricing of your electric scooter that you're interested in purchasing. For example, with the Bird ES1, I plan on purchasing an extended external battery bank that is going to close to double my range. It's going to create a little bit more kick to the engine, but it is going to close to double the price of a scooter. So you need to think about that. Do you want to purchase something more expensive right out of the bat that you're not going to have to put any money into it for the most part? Or do you want to have something that you could potentially modify and buy things for along the journey? Now, think about also yourself as a person. Now, technically, the Bird ES1 300 only has capacity up to 220 pounds. Now, I'm a bit of a bigger individual at this point in time in my life. And I was actually worried about a scooter being able to support me. Now, luckily enough, it does support me and my structure, and it does have the same range. So think about yourself. Do you plan on losing weight? Do you plan on gaining weight? Because that is also going to play a role of what kind of scooter do you want to have. While speaking on the type of scooter you want to have, think about what is the main purpose of a scooter that you want to have. Is it something you want to just use to get to work or school? Or do you want to use it more of a high speed or high performance vehicle to get maybe from town to town? Or if you want to go really, really fast, that is also a factor that that is going to play a role in it. So there's a lot of factors that go into purchasing an electric scooter. And you're making an investment. If it's even a smaller investment or a bigger investment, treat it like you're buying a car or another vehicle, because it is going to be with you for quite some time, especially if you're investing a significant amount or semi-significant amount of money into purchasing one. I wish I would have taken a lot of these factors into consideration while purchasing Bird ES1 300, but at the same time, it checks a lot of the boxes that I had in mind, because I do live in Manhattan. A lot of places that I visit are in a very densely packed area, so I don't have to go very far to get from here and back. So the charge does sustain me, even though I'm a bit of a bigger person. It is a modifiable scooter, so because it is part of the whole Segway ecosphere, I can add external batteries, baskets, lights, etc. to modify my scooter just to fit it a little bit better. It is a scooter that it also does not have a very big learning curve associated with it, because it's my first time being in a scooter in close to 15 years. I was able to ride it in less than 10 minutes versus something higher end that might have a bigger learning curve. So do create a list of pros, cons, and the things that you want your electric scooter to accomplish before purchasing one. Now, let me know in the comment section below, what are you looking out of your electric scooter, and I'll maybe help you find the perfect model. Or if you do have an electric scooter yourself already, what kind of an electric scooter do you have, or it hasn't been living up to your expectations? And if it hasn't, why not? I would love to hear your stories. Guys, it's a bit of an easier, smaller video. I wanted to kind of unpack for today's video. I know that there's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world. Hopefully everybody's being safe. Hopefully it's being, and I'm glad that it's opening a conversation. That's the most important part. And it's for many individuals, it's a very uncomfortable conversation to have, because a lot of individuals, me included, have noticed a lot of these racial injustices happening over the years. And there hasn't been a forum or a platform to truly discuss what is going on in this country. And I'm glad a lot of people who have previously not have spoken out about it are speaking out now. And we're creating something that is going to last for generations to come, if not for the rest of the human race. And this is why I'm so proud of all the individuals that are speaking out, raising money, volunteering, speaking their minds, etc. But be mindful of each other. We're all human beings. We share the same planet. We're all part of the human race. I love you all. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you.